Finally, we're together. I mean, together, like, it's us. I want you to know how special you are to me. I just feel so alive when I look at you. You know, I see things now that I didn't see before. I have a sense of clarity and purpose. It's like destiny, you know? I feel like I'm the one that's discovered beautiful and perfection. I want to climb to the top of Everest and say, I know what beauty is! I am in love with the Vizio!
Vizio. Ryan!
Yeah.
You ready?
Ready for what?
You ready? You've got a chance, man.
A chance at what, Mikey? To get killed? Oh.
A chance to win.
A win. Oh, Virtual Fighter.
Give them nothing,
Uh-huh.
but take from them everything.
Is that another reference?
Yeah, it's a 300 reference.
Oh.
Have you seen the trophy? We made it.
Virtual Fighter tournament, no, but I assume it's...
Tournament of Champions trophy.
Wow, that's beautiful. I wish...
Oh, but wow.
I wish it twinkled or something.
Human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Whoa. Cocoa, toaster, no. Haven't you learned anything from Cooking Mama, Jen?
That is not wonderful.
No.
Someone is
Fire
not
hazard.
walking me through step by step. I get confused.
Jen,
it's hard.
Cooking Mama is like training wheels. Eventually you have to take them off and ride on your own.
Awesome! Getting better! Good.
The good thing about this is the DS version, which I really liked, was very shallow, and at the same time, it wasn't quite as intuitive as the Wii version. I mean, sure, like chopping stuff was kind of fun, and it kind of felt like you were doing it, but I feel like with the Wii version, you actually do feel like Jen says, you're actually doing these motions. Like when you're cutting, when you're doing the grinding the meat, as gross as that is, it's disgusting. It's like, it looks like meat, it sounds like meat, it's so gross. But anyways, you're actually really doing these motions, and to me, like that, to me, it's the first Wii game that I play where I'm like, besides like Wii Sports, obviously, that I really feel like the controllers are actually like doing what they're supposed to do, which is make it feel like you're doing the real life motion.
I agree. I mean, there's an element of physicality that, you know, you bring your whole arm into it, not just your wrist.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of tiring sometimes when you're carving up big slabs of
bacon. And chopping, I had to say, it's kind of like making a stir fry. You know, stir fry is easy to cook, but prep is a bitch. And in Cooking Mama, they kind of almost represent that too well. You're always chopping.
The chopping's fun because it's very simple and you can't fuck it up.
That may be true, but I wanted a little more complexity. Like I wanted steps to have, from a game, I wanted the steps to have more variety.
But at the same time, some of the games are a little bit too complex or too weird. Like, for instance, the egg one we just mentioned.
I couldn't even get one of those right. I feel like the biggest problem the controls have is when they kind of switch modes on you. Like when you have, you know, a pot on the stove and you're adding, stirring, and switching the temperature, because you're using the controller in different ways every time. Like there's just clicking to add stuff, but then to stir you have to make a motion like this, and then to change the temperature, you're clicking and twisting at the same time, and it's like you're using three different visual metaphors all in one.
See, the thing about this too is like the DS version, while I did a lot, it was so completely shallow. It's just these mini games. There's not much you can do, but with the Wii version, there's more recipes. There's like a lot of desserts, and you also have competitive multiplayer with like real people. And if you don't have friends, you actually can compete against a computer.
Yeah, the computer's really hard.
Oh, of course they're hard. They can do everything perfectly.
It's a little bit slow, but they always do everything perfectly.
I recommend to everyone playing multiplayer to play against Michael Donahoe. You're my sous chef.
Oh.
You're not the top chef at this point. You are so into getting perfect on everything that you'll actually go slower and be more precise trying to get a good score.
I put quality into my food, you know? I don't rush it out like you. I'm just like, here's some shit, eat it. No. I take my time. I make a masterpiece.
You're like the cheap American component,
You're
American opponent in Iron Chef. You know, I'm the
McDonald's
master.
to my 5-star restaurant.
Oh, please. Your burger? Oh, I wish we could get a picture of it. It was 5 patties.
5 patties.
So
and
we're doing
And
the
a
monster
pimple.
thick burger thing.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good burger. Much better than yours. Your burger sucked.
You wouldn't know that because we didn't get to taste them, because that is one of the downsides of Cooking Mama, is that you labor over paella and snow cones and hot dogs and burgers, and you don't get to try it.
At first, when I was playing, like I really didn't like it. Like it was just too complicated. It was too like, what the fuck is going on, you know? And pretty much everybody online was kind of saying the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. Is like a friend of mine described it perfectly when he called Shadowrun stupidly complicated, because it is like the first 5 hours or something that I played the beta, I was so frustrated with my character's like Gra Rainbow Six style targeting reticle, where if you move, it spreads out, and if you stop, it narrows. And I don't like that at all.
I don't want to have to stop to shoot, and that's what it makes you feel like.
And then stuff like my teammates, I can't tell who's my teammate and who's not.
It was really hard to tell.
And then finally, like the first ability that I started to buy was Smart Link, which makes it so like it puts a special grid up. It makes it so you can't shoot your teammates. It like hones the targeting reticle in, and then the game plays like more like the console shooter you're expecting it to play as. And it's from like one of the leads on it is one of the guys who did like the controls for Halo. So it's like Halo has like the commerce system of Counter-Strike, and then like Magic, and all that put together. It's like pretty complicated. It's a pretty complicated mix of gameplay elements that that console kids aren't going to be used to or necessarily ready for.
Lineage scores. And I want to ask you guys, if you're playing together, that it's clearly meant to be rewarding when you function as like a team as one single big unit, and maybe that's there. It was only like 2 of us really cooperating, because the other guys were being kind of like boners and they weren't really helping us out. But like the individual just playing on my, just doing my own, or 2 people, like it wasn't that satisfying to me moment to moment.
It's like when I was playing, like the guys that I was playing with were just like random dudes, but they'd be like, oh, okay, I'll buy Resurrect. And then somebody would be like, okay, I've got an extra $5 grand. Does anyone need another weapon? And then he'd buy an extra weapon and then drop it, and then when the round starts, you'd go over and like just pick it up and take it from him, like, dude. So there was like a lot of elements of cohesion where at least I was getting a sense of what it could be like in like an ideal situation. But again, like talking about things ideally, it's if you're talking about Gears of War, like if you have 8 people to play Gears of War with a night, that's a blast if you play 4-on-4. So, but at least this time, like because it is it does have like a party system, at least the barrier to entry to like it's like 4 or 5 people instead of 8. Which is a lot more likely.
Gears is like works both ways though. It's like you can have, you're gonna win when you work as a team, as a squad, and ultimately if you're against anyone that knows what they're doing, you have to do that. But at the same time, when you first go in there, you might not even have your headset on, and you're still like, whoa, this is pretty fun. Even the simple stuff is just gratifying. Even just shooting someone, I just like didn't. Like maybe it's just some of the harder to define elements of the game, but everything just feels like insubstantial, like the contact, hitting people with the melee is really busted. It feels like you got a wet noodle and you're just like spinning it around.
So it might change, but like that was part of what I found I was missing, was that satisfaction. I think that's the exact word to use for it, is like Gears, when I do play multiplayer, it is very satisfying. When you kill somebody and then you fucking curb stomp them, like there's so much satisfaction there. So there's so much and it's not just about the gore, it's about the effort to do that. Whereas in this game, like you can shoot somebody and somebody can run over and resurrect them, so you have to like heal their body.
Or even get the sense that you're hitting them. You ever get the sense that you're hitting them or being hit?
It is something where there's like, the different weapons don't just don't give me different satisfaction, like shooting somebody with a shotgun.
You guys think that the powers and stuff, I mean, they made such a big deal, you know, their marketing terms are that they're adding verbs to the vocabulary of this kind of game. But do you think that, I mean, there's quite a bit going on, but do you think there's enough? I mean, I was playing, I was like, well, there's really not. Throwing the tree wasn't that satisfying to me. Like, teleporting is cool, but that's almost the stand-in for the jump in this. That and glider, it's like I associate as part of the standard mobility in the way that, like, jetpacks became that in, what's the name? Film, yeah, Tribes, yeah. But I didn't really, like, I don't know, I mean, like, nothing's really standing out to me like, okay, this is awesome to use.
I'm pretty happy with, like, the number of abilities, and especially when you can, depending on like which character class you're playing, it changes like which abilities you're going to want to use, and the weapons vary enough for me. I almost feel like if there were more, it would just get way too complicated. I'm already a little bit worried about how it's going to balance out when people start getting really fucking good at teleporting and people start getting really fucking good at gliding and sniping. And
people in the beta that are already
there are already people. I was watching people teleport around like I could not figure out how they were doing what they were doing.
The problem is when everyone, you know, the 40,000 people who buy this or whatever, start playing it, then there's going to be this great learning curve, and I think that a lot of like your casual shooter fans on Xbox, you know, which is the majority probably of that player base, are going to be totally alienated because this is so complicated and, you know, it's just super, super stupidly complex.
It doesn't seem like complicated at all to me. It's weird.
Well,
like it seems like because it was so like, I mean, there's time to do everything. You know, like it seemed like I had a huge amount of time. Like if you, I mean, obviously it's something really simple, but yeah, if you're going to go into Ghost and then you're going to go and add another one of your things, since they're just, you know, bumper clicks and stuff, it just didn't seem.
Oh, I don't mean the actual act of playing is complicated. I mean like the act of figuring out what abilities, what abilities I'm going to deploy, like what's going to be the best.
You're good at, and which ones you like. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't especially like using the katana, even with the wired reflexes. Like I don't like that especially, and I'm not a big fan of the sniper, so I'm going for like the bigger weapons but the closer range stuff. Yeah. So I mean,
maybe it's just the status quo. Like on PC, you just expect that people to figure that out on their own. But that's part of the problem, is that there's always like this group of like exclusionary, you know, this exclusionary group of people that figure that out right away and do it. But then it does suck because it's prohibitive to anyone else. You go in and it's like everyone's a cyborg, like you're talking about.
The Tree of Life heal anyone near. To demonstrate healing, I'll detonate a mine near you. This will only hurt for a bit.
And I like that it's incorporating like RPG elements into the first-person shooter. Vocabulary. Like I do like that. It doesn't.
What are the RPG elements in it?
Like teleport, like magic, like summons. These things that normally we'd associate with RPGs, that like resurrect, like the Tree of Life. Like that's not something you typically see.
The game got a bad rap because of the way it appeared. You know, at E3 a while ago, and we're all like, well, yeah, it's all about how the thing plays. But for some reason, as I was playing it, at one point I just stopped and was like, dude, it's freaking elves in the lobby. Like, what's going on here? You know, like.
The one thing I'm still very doubtful of is its viability as a PC title, because it feels so much like a console title. Like I like it better on console because it kind of works there. But when we played it on PC, I was just really frustrated with like jumping.
Right.
Like you had no way of like strafing and jumping to get away from anybody, and
why was that?
It was like because you jump on that like parabolic arc. Yeah. You don't jump like you do in other games where you're hopping and you know what I'm saying? Like you're jumping like you do in console games, like you do in Halo.
Technically, you would be able to, because of the range of abilities in the game. You know, the teleportation and the gliders and stuff. You'd think that it would work well with a mouse, so that you can do these really quick things, like really good UT players, or even all the way back to Quake. You know, when you watch them, they're jumping off grenades, spinning around mid-jump, hitting something else with it, switching weapons, and doing all these things. And you get that crazy good with, you know, using a teleporter as a weapon in Unreal and stuff. But in this game, I was thinking about it. I'm like, hey, maybe this would be rad. We can just start comboing stuff like crazy, you know, just like glide up to one area, teleport it inside it. But the pace of the game, it's not slow. It's weird. It seemed perfect on console, but I think with the mouse, it doesn't really it's not going to give you any advantage, because anyone with the controller is going to be able to keep up to that same pace anyway. You're not going to have to like crack monkey combos and do it. That it's going to give you an edge.
The hope though, like the hope on console was that you would be able to do those combos, but like getting to that B button menu, like because what it is to like switch between your abilities, you have the 3 core abilities that you map to RB, LT, and LB, and then you have other abilities that you'll acquire that you buy along the way. So you won't like map Resurrect or Tree of Life to right bumper. you have to like go get them, and like in the middle of combat, so I'll be like, oh shit, there's a dead dude, so I'm running up, and then when I hit B, I stop moving.
Right.
Like you stop moving as the menu comes up, and then you use the analog sticks to navigate that menu. But there's no way to like do it on the fly to like pull off those really sweet combos. You still stop, you know, find resurrect
But
and
on
then
a
raise
keyboard,
someone.
you would be able to map those. In theory.
I don't think so. It's not going to work that way because the whole interface for the game is like predicated on the 360 version. So that when you're playing with the mouse, you click a button and it will bring up a rosette on screen, and then you choose from there.
Yeah, when we played the PC version at that event, the menu was the same as the Xbox 360.
Yeah. Well, just
and
play it with the controller. That's what I feel. Is like I would
plug in
play
the
this game with the controller.
PC,
I think the one thing, sniping, you're going to get a huge advantage with a mouse on.
It's a beta, so they're fixing a lot of stuff. I've already noticed like a couple like little teeny bugs that they're working on. It's a work in progress, but I mean, what I see now, I mean, yeah, I bitch a little, but then like I am looking forward to going home and playing it and figuring out these combos and what I like to put together, and the way it does change how the game feels, and it changes the pace of the game for me individually. And I'm looking forward to like if I do find some normal people to play with.
Did anyone on our team buy red?
Finally, we're together. I mean, together, like, it's us. I want you to know how special you are to me. I just feel so alive when I look at you. You know, I see things now that I didn't see before. I have a sense of clarity and purpose. It's like destiny, you know. I feel like I'm the one that's discovered beautiful and perfection. I want to climb to the top of Everest and say, I know what beauty is. I am in love with a Vizio.
Vizio.
With the newest software update for PS3, you get an icon under the network category, which is Folding at Home. If you click on that icon, you can choose to install the Folding at Home application. Download that, then every time after that, if you ever want to run it, you just click on that icon and it'll run. You can also have it auto start if your PS3 is idle.
Let's pretend that I don't know what protein folding is, just for pretense, because I totally do. I totally know what that is. But let's pretend I didn't. What is protein folding?
Okay, so first of all, one thing that's important to notice is that if you don't understand anything about it, you can still help just by running this. You don't need to know anything about protein folding. You just click on it. We're already helping, by the way, Stanford, try to find these cures. So what protein folding is folding is a scientific term they use for the reshaping of the protein molecule. So when proteins do what they're supposed to do, so they change their shape to do what like the genetic code needs to have happen. And that process of changing shape is folding. And so it happens really, really fast in the nanosecond scale. So what this is a simulation of those folds happening with different conditions and different starting states. And they're running lots and lots of different starting points in tests with different proteins and different conditions in the environment. So what they're going to do is gather all that information and get a simulation of the likelihood of what states should happen and what states shouldn't happen. And the diseases are when the protein goes to a shape it shouldn't have gone to.
Okay.
And so proteins are always folding. Sometimes they misfold, and that's a problem.
And that's what this is looking for?
This is trying to understand those misfolds and what causes them, like what conditions make the misfold more likely and things like that. As far as Sony goes, we're enabling Stanford to do the science they want to do.
Okay.
Stanford right now is focused on, the one they're focused most on is Alzheimer's disease. And there's certain other diseases related to that. There's I'm not a science expert on this either, but there's some cancers and Hodgkin's disease and some other diseases like that that have similar kind of problems in the protein folding. So Stanford originally, when they made Folding at Home, they made it so that you could kind of have these teams. It's very, very loose. You can just, anyone could be on a team with you. You can't kick anyone off of a team. Everyone just it's all, you know, in a good cause. So. And then you can measure how much of the folding that you've done and your team has done. So a lot of the overclocker community actually got interested in this. They want to show off how fast their PCs are and things. So they make teams for, like, Australia's overclockers is one of the biggest teams. One of the differences with us, all the PS3s are the same. So they'll all be going at the same speed. but they'll be going much faster than the PCs will. So if a group of PS3s are together on a team, they'll they'll rack up the points much faster.
Oh, so you can join a team with the PC users.
If you wanted to, you could.
So the PS3 is actually able to do this faster than your average PC. Why is that?
So the cell processor in the PS3 is actually really good at this kind of a computation. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we kind of picked to go with this project is it's such a good match. It's really good at this floating point kind of calculation that's done on this molecule. So it's about 20 to 30 times faster than an average PC. So.
Wow. And can you change anything else about like how the visuals look?
If you want to interact with it, there's a lot of things that are built in the application that are kind of more appealing to the people who own this kind of system, video game players.
Short attention spans. Yeah.
So this is kind of an organic, kind of weird,
right.
kind of like almost liquid, I don't know. That's one kind of way the scientists, these are actually things scientists actually use to visualize. Here's the space fill mode. So this is kind of another way to visualize what's going on. All these are abstract representations of the atoms. This one maybe is the one that chemistry students might be the most familiar with. Each one of the spheres is an atom, and each one of the sticks is a bond between the atoms. So you can get this kind of a chemistry 101 look at this. And actually this is pretty exciting to the research community too. They've never really had a graphic system so powerful they could look at these things as they're folding.
As they're folding. Yeah. It's kind of incredible.
So in the background, what you see here is actually the planet Earth. If I circle around here, here's the US. And if you see there, you can see these kind of yellow lights. Those actually, this right now is before we've gone live with the system. So we're simulating all the PS3s in the US here that are actively participating in folding. So when we go live with this, everyone who owns a PS3 and is connected will show up as a little yellow dot. And so all the other people working on it, you can see them at the same time.
So once these proteins get folded and they get uploaded and Stanford gets them, what is the eventual goal? What is the hope that this will do?
So all this data is kind of gathered by the Stanford servers, and then the research scientists at Stanford go through the data and try to understand it and make a kind of a model of the protein. And then they use it actually to go and do experimental research where they actually take, a microscope and look at proteins under a microscope. Just doing that without this kind of data they'd have to do so many experiments, it would be infeasible. So this actually really helps them narrow what they're looking for and things like that. And I think it's easy. You don't have to do anything other than hit one button.
It's all completely optional. If there is some asshole out there who's like, no, I don't want to help people find a cure for cancer, this is optional. You opt into it. It's not automatically downloaded into the update. No. It's just an option.
Yep.
Oh, there. The assholes will be happy. But if you don't download it, you're kind of automatically an asshole.
When you first heard that Ninja Gaiden Sigma was coming out, a remake of the original Ninja Gaiden, what did you think?
I think anytime you tell a gamer that you're bringing what is ostensibly the same game back again, there's always going to be some skepticism.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I had it as well. I mean, like, no doubt it's going to be a great game, but is it going to be the same great game? And what we saw today, I thought was a pretty convincing argument that, 3 years old or not, it's still like the best 3D action game around.
Ninja Gaiden looked great on SD TVs on Xbox One already. Ninja Gaiden Black also looked great. But when you take that same experience and you play it on an HD TV in 480i or 480p, it looks okay. But Ninja Gaiden Sigma, running it widescreen, 720p on your HD TV, it looks sick. It looks so good.
It looks beautiful. All the enemies have new animations. Ryu has new animations. He's got like new rolls, new evasive moves,
As a hardcore Ninja Gaiden fan, again, best action game of all time. As a hardcore Ninja Gaiden fan, when I first heard there was going to be a remake of on PS3 in high def, I was instantly excited. And as someone who's played that first game extensively, it was confusing to me to have these feelings, to be like, you know, wow, why am I so excited for a game that I could go play right now at home? Combining these like simple, perfect RPG elements like weapon upgrades with a giant open world that's continuous, with a combat system that, as we've mentioned, would be right at home in a fighting game. Hashi, one of the funnier things he said today was he called the Devil May Cry series, instead of an action game, a combo game.
Yeah.
At first I thought he was just being kind of a dick, you know, but really he made a very compelling argument.
その本当にアクションゲームを真剣に考えたときにデビルメイクライ4でやってることっていうのがすごくこう独りよがりというか、そのバーンってこう叩きつけて気持ちいいのに、それをこうまた引って剥がしてまた捕まえてまたビッて殴るっていうのは、そのなんつうのかな、そのアクションゲームの本質として考えた時にそれっていうのは本当にこう一方的で、すごいそれこそまあさっきのコンボゲーっていうのは4に関して言うと、あれをやるとさらにコンボゲーになるんですよ。でそれはゲームの進化として、例えば10コンボのゲームは100コンボになるかもしれないけど、かといってそれが面白いかって言ったらそうでもなくて、アクションゲームっていうのはもっとこう本気できた相手とガチンコでぶつかって、そんでバーンとこう結果が出るっていうところが面白いのに、そこに関して逃げてるというか、そこを作るのっていうのは大変なんですよ、特に60フレームで。だからそこに関して逃げてしまってるのかなっていうのは非常に残念に思いますね。ただあそこに関してはコンボゲーとしてはやっぱりやっぱり評価してますんで、そこに関してはなんだろうな、やっぱり我々とはちょっと戦う目指してる方向が違うんだねっていうことを、今回さらに明確に分かったかなと思います。
A lot of people like Devil May Cry with good reason. A lot of people like God of War with good reason. But this is the best action game. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'd rather have a sequel than a remake. But we know that that's happening as well.
And this is for a new audience because like most of the people who own PS2s didn't actually own an Xbox. It was either or.
Yeah.
Like there was not as much crossover as people think. So this is really coming to a whole new audience. So for a lot of people, this is the first time they're ever going to play Ninja Gaiden. For people who've played it already, there's a lot to be said for Sigma.
Now with the 6-axis control, what were some of the discussions on how to implement that? I mean, I guess the solution you arrived to is to shake the controller when you're using the Ninpo.
一番面白いエピソードはですね、チーム忍者の中にすごいこう熱いスタッフっていうのがいっぱいいるんですよ。で、そんでこう忍者ガイデンってこう気合い入れるゲームなんで、こう開発しながらですね、この野郎ってこうやって怒ったやつがいるんですよ。開発しながら。で、それをこう見て、あ、これだと思って、あ、みんなコントローラーをこう使うんだとなって、それをじゃあゲームに反映させてやろうじゃないかと。こう自分がハヤブサに対してこう気合を入れてるんですよ。こうやってガーッ。それがこうゲーム内に反映しようというふうに考えて、あそこに入ってるんですよ。で、そのゲーム中にこう振るっていうことは、つまりそれだけ熱中してもらえてるっていうことだし、それだけこうはやぶさに対してこう気を送ってるっていうことで、そこに関してこうなんつうのかな、こうエモーショナルなこう入力として面白い入れ方にできたんじゃないかなと思います。
They are adding one new weapon to the game. It's actually two new weapons, the dual wielding katanas, which, at first, it's like you said, when we first started playing with them, it looked like they might be a little overpowered. Of course, Team Ninja is known for balance and for making difficult games, so I don't think that would be anything we have to worry about. What is cool is that they said that the main weapon in the old game, the Dragon Sword, is the one that has the largest moveset, and that the new dual swords are going to have at least a comparable moveset, if not more moves than the original.
Even if you're a veteran of Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black, you can go back and play through it using this entirely new weapon set. I would love to see Team Ninja do a weapon-based fighting game because every one of the weapons that Ryu Hayabusa uses is like as deep as any weapon, any singular character's weapon moves in Soul Calibur.
Especially if you could choose any character you wanted from a long list of characters, and the weapon instead of the characters is what decided what moveset you were going to use anyway.
That's just fantasy land.
Yeah, this is fantasy land. When I'd heard that Rachel was going to be a playable character in the game, it wasn't the most exciting thing to me, partially because as a character, Rachel isn't the most fulfilling character that I've ever seen in an action game before. Blonde hair, dumb bondage suit. She doesn't have much character.
Right.
But I think that's what they're trying to flesh out now. Her gameplay is completely different than Ryu's, and that's awesome. You know, if you do the evade move by holding down block and moving the analog stick with Ryu, he, you know, just rolls out of the way, kind of like Kratos in God of War. But Rachel, if you're near an enemy and you do the evade towards them, she'll roll over the top of them. And there's a lot of hooking moves and grabbing and throwing enemies around.
Yeah,
and I think
using the grappling hook on her wrist guard or whatever to like actually swing from things.
Right.
You know, so you get a little Spider-Man kind of action in there. It's really cool. Yeah, she's definitely her own character.
One of the things that Hayashi revealed in our previous interview was that one of his pet peeves was that he wanted a different hairstyle on Rachel. Have you settled on how many different hairs that Rachel could possibly have?
髪型は何種類か用意してあげました。で、そこに関しては全く毛色の違う、我々のスタッフの中でもこう好みがあって、これがいいよね、これがいいよねってことで何種類か用意してます。それは何種類か楽しみにしてもらいたいなというふうに思ってます。で、ミルキーさんって黒い髪の女性って好きですか？
Yeah.
だと思ったんで黒髪入れときました。
Nice. Nice. I agree with this. Yeah.
I know that when they are bringing this game to the PlayStation 3, Team Ninja is going to do it right. You know what I mean? And so having the game at 720p with high-res graphics, widescreen,
new weapons,
new weapons, 3 extra chapters, 19 instead of 16 this time. Like, I don't know. I am so excited. Like, that game is so good. I've been wanting to play it again, and I put it off because I knew that the PS3 version was coming. And now, after having played it today, I want nothing more than to have the game right now.
This actually makes me want to go back and play Black again. You know, just because.
Just to get ready for it.
Just to really be able to better appreciate the differences when Sigma comes out.
Right.
In June. Did you notice when we were playing though that there actually was a costume button?
I did. Yeah.
I really wanted to push that button. To see what was in store.
I guess we'll have to wait till June or whatever.
Yeah.
But
although I heard people might be able to get a little sample.
Oh, really?
Before the game's June release, yeah. I don't know whether or not that's true, but we'll find out.
Like I said, I'll take as much Ninja Gaiden whenever I can get it.
All I can say is free up some hard drive space on your PS3.
Is that where Richard fights Smokey?
This is where Shane.
What's up, dudes? Man, he got his ass. Hey.
Yo, the tournament happened or what?
Dude, you just missed it.
You weren't there? No.
I could have sworn I saw you there.
Yeah, didn't you fight Garnet?
No, that was Shane that lost to Garnet.
Oh, yeah,
First round, dude.
First round, Shane
First
loses.
round, Garnet spanked him.
He's right.
Really?
I should have played once with the joystick before I did this tournament. I go back that much.
Milky almost lost against Richard, but he came back and kicked his ass.
Richard My Cheats lead.
Richard My Cheats lead.
Half my life is gone.
Oh my god.
Dude, he kept doing punch, punch, punch. It's hilarious. I don't think he knows how
Against
to play.
Wolfman's divine power?
He didn't even play Pi though. He played Eileen. What's up with that? And he played with a pad. Who plays with a pad? I do, but I mean, who else besides me? Come on.
do.
Okay, who else besides Jason and me? And you? It ended up coming down to Ryan and Milkman, after all.
Where's Shane? Shane's on deadline. There's Shane. What?
Oh, no, Shane, sorry. Mistakes were made.
Fight one! Ready?
Do him
go! Ready? Go!
Relentless.
Oh my god. KO! Fight 3! Ready? Go!
Brian's in the zone.
Brian's got a he feels like sleeping right now. Oh my god!
Champion!
Next your fire
Hey!
Let's get some flan. Let's get some flan. All right, back to work.
Let's go back to work.
That's the L1. Don't forget to turn off.
So, hello, Shane.
How about a little charity match?
Heard you went down in
Mistakes.
round one?
Mistakes were made.
Round one against Garnett. I'm like 301 against Garnett.
Yeah. Mistakes were made. You know, it's almost more fun when it's just about the purity of the fight. You know, back in the day when we used to play just for fun, like not about this stupid tournament, one-up show, and all like
one-up show
shit.
Ryan got nasty with Shundi.
Totally, he mixed it up. It was all about like not letting you up and not using his big moves and all.
I actually gave him a warm-up like a couple hours ago where we were playing. We broke even. We were really tense, close matches. But if you win, you have to give $100 to charity.
Is that the way you want it?
I think so.
Jesus!